You too. You got a song that you want to hear? You do, don't you? Reach out to me. More than happy to get it played. Love playing a wide variety of different songs here on Toolbox Tuesday. And everybody, welcome to Toolbox Tuesday. Got two more sessions happening here for the month of April. Next week on April 21st, we're hosting a kind of a roundtable session that's going to be called POS Roundup. And it's going to be myself and Jeannie Golden Chapel. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a discussion with you. Okay, we're going to talk about traditional point of sale systems. We're going to talk about non-traditional point of sale systems. But the ultimate goal is to help you with qualifying accounts, asking the right questions, teach you how to be a problem solver. And we're going to talk about some of those expectations that you should be setting with your merchant whenever they sign up for a brand new point of sale system. And then we are going to wrap up the month of April on the 28th with Deja Pay Pro, which falls into that category of non-traditional point of sale system. And I got to tell you, I've been working with the Deja Pay Pro over the past couple of weeks, and we've just been kind of creating the outline for this Toolbox Tuesday. Man, oh man, I'm going to tell you all right now, it's a game changer. Reason being, you can pretty much run the software on almost, key emphasis on almost, any device that you want to, whether it's an iPad, whether it's an Android device. And of course, it works very well within the Deja Vu ecosystem. We're excited to show that session to you on the 28th. Looking forward to seeing you on that call. As always, if you don't see the invites on your calendar, just reach out to us. We're more than happy to get the invite sent over to you. You can just reach out to sales@paycompass.com and we'll get the invite sent over to you. As always, Toolbox Tuesday, we record these within 24 hours. We get them posted on our YouTube channel. However, some people don't like to rewatch a video. Some people prefer to have a transcript, and that's okay. This is your time to launch your AI note taker if you would like. Go ahead and go for it. Every single Toolbox Tuesday, we don't mind if you use note takers. So today, switching gears a little bit. We're not going to talk about payment devices or POS systems. What we're going to talk about is an offering that helps to make your deals just a little bit more sticky, because now you've got another offering in front of the merchant that just kind of keeps them right within that Pay Compass ecosystem. Of course, I'm talking about Factor4, but I can't do this all by myself. Heck no, I can't. So that's why I am happy to introduce our special guest, Mr. David Hicks from Factor4. David, let's hear from you, my man.
Hey Scott, thanks. How's it going?
Hey, it's going very well. How are you today, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you showed up, because I could tell you that if I had to host this by myself talking about Factor4, whew, I bet you
Would have
I'd
been
probably
rough.
get about 10 minutes. I know, right? I'd get like 10 minutes into it. I'd be like, well, that's all I got, everybody. Here we go. Perfect. Well, David, always good to see you. It was great catching up with you a couple of months ago when you and I hooked up at NEA in Boston, and you dropped a bomb on me, man. You said, man, oh man, Scott, excited for 2026. We got a brand new offering, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But David, just for the benefit of all of our agents, just so we can get everybody up to speed, I see that we do have some new faces on the call here who might not be familiar with Factor4. How would you describe Factor4 to all of our agents, my friend? What would you say?
Sure. Yeah, it's a Factor4 is a full service gift and loyalty platform. So our big focus is on gift cards, gift card programs. And so we are truly like a one-stop shop for gift cards. So if you have a merchant out there, retail, hospitality, anything like that, that's looking to start a gift card program or has a gift card program that just isn't doing what they need it to do, we're able to offer everything that a merchant would need for gift cards. So we do the processing, of course, we integrate into a ton of different terminals and point of sale systems. So they can track all those gift card transactions, sell a gift card, redeem a gift card, all that kind of stuff. But we also help on the actual card production side of things. So there's a lot of gift card providers out there that will only do the processing, or maybe they only print cards, and you have to work with a couple different vendors to be able to put that program together. So we're able to offer all that together. So we do the processing, we do the printing of custom cards, we do other marketing materials to go along with that. We create online gift card sales solutions as well. So, if you have a merchant that's looking to sell their cards on their website versus just in store, we can set that up for them. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the big thing that we're doing now that we just finished is our digital wallet integrations. So not only do we have the ability to offer gift card programs to sell in store, online, redeem in store, We also just added the ability to add gift cards for our merchants, for their customers to add their gift cards into their mobile wallets. So on their iPhone, Android devices, pretty soon we'll have the ability for those merchants to offer that as well. So just full service gift card and loyalty platform is what I'd say is kind of the best way to describe what Factor 4 does.
Yeah, and I would say that that was the part that caught my attention when you and I were hanging out in Boston together,
Yeah.
where I said, hey man, what's new over at Factor 4? You said, well, guess what? We just completed the integration with digital wallets. So everybody on this call, you're probably going, Scott, why are you nerding out over this? Like, why are you getting so excited about it, Scott? Well, let me tell you why, okay? I want all of you to think about your small town merchants on Main Street. Okay, think about who they are up against. As an example, let's say that you've got a loyal merchant who runs a coffee shop. Okay, that coffee shop goes up against Dunkin' Donuts. That coffee shop goes up against Starbucks. Now, as far as their nationwide competition is concerned, Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, what do? They offer gift cards and say, yeah, absolutely. You could put that right into your Apple wallet or your Google wallet, and you can come in and you can pay with that. So what happens is, and Dave, let's you and I talk about this a little bit. So as time goes on, as time goes on, a lot of consumers are starting to become a little bit more hip to that digital wallet experience, which is why I got excited about it. Because in my opinion, now what it's doing is it's giving small mom and pop on Main Street the ability to go head to head with some of those national franchises, correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, since the Starbucks, the Dunkins, things like that, they've had a chance to kind of beta test it all for everyone for the past few years. So now that everybody, Apple Wallet adoption, Apple Pay, that type of thing the adoption has increased in recent years compared to when it first launched. I personally use Apple Pay probably 9 times out of 10 whenever I check out somewhere, just because it's much easier just to tap and pay and go as opposed to pulling my wallet out, putting a card in, and so forth. So yeah, now that everybody's really gotten used to how Apple Pay, Google Pay, things like that works, even things like boarding passes for airplanes and things like that, people are much more used to using that tool to manage those things. Now's a really good time to start offering this product to smaller merchants. It's not like this new technology that people are a little bit, nervous to use. They're used to it now. They understand how it works, and they understand the conveniences that it brings to their day-to-day lives.
And before we continue on here, sales agent, I just want you to know something. I didn't forget about you. I didn't, because I forgot to say one thing at the very beginning of the call. Hey, everybody, we do want your questions. So David and I are going to talk here for a little bit more. We're going to break. We're going to take questions from you live, where you can come off mute, ask your questions, or if you would prefer, as David and I continue the conversation here, if you'd like to put your questions into the chat, go ahead and go for it. We're going to make sure that we get all of those addressed. David, let's keep the conversation going regarding this. And the thing is, I love the fact that Factor 4 has brought this to the table with the digital wallets. Now, prior to that, from an electronic standpoint, what was Factor 4 doing as far as like the e-gift cards? Was it something where it's like you gotta print out the gift card, or how was that working prior to this new launch that we just did?
Yeah, you could. So generally how the process would work is you would go to, let's say it's Dave's Taco Shack, you go to their website, hit the gift card button on their website. Factor 4 will actually build a web page out to sell those gift cards online. So, links out to the page that Factor 4 builds, gives you the option to buy either a physical or a digital card. So if you select digital, it's going to collect your email, and that's how it's going to send to you. So you select the amount, put in your email address, and then it's going to send you the email with the gift card information. So it's going to include, a picture of the gift card, the branding, and all that. It's going to have a barcode to scan for those merchants that have a scannable solution, and then it's going to have a gift card number. So you could print that out and bring it in, but you can just keep it on your phone and pull it up whenever you go into a merchant. So that's how most people do it. I think is they'll just pull the email up in person in the shop and either scan it, or you can read the gift card number off and type it in manually into the terminal or point of sale.
Okay. So right now, at this point, when we're talking about the gift cards that can go in, the digital gift cards that can go into the wallet, I've seen examples that you've shared with me, and I saw the QR code smack dab in the middle. So what are we saying to our audience? Are we saying to our audience that when they talk to a merchant, they can say, "Hey, I can set you up for digital gift cards, but you got to go out and buy a barcode scanner"? Or is there a way that we can actually work around that where they can still redeem those, even though somebody has it in their digital wallet?
Yeah, so regardless of whether it's a physical card, an email, or in the digital wallet, it can always still be manually entered. So you're always going to have that card number, whether it's physical card, digital wallet, or an email with that information. So regardless of what solution the merchant is using, you're always at the very least going to be able to manually type in the gift card number. So that is a convenience. I always suggest having some solution to be able to scan a gift card or swipe a gift card. Obviously, if it's a physical card, but in this case, if it's a digital card or from a digital wallet, at the very least, you can still type in the gift card number.
Okay. So, and the reason I wanted to share this with everybody is I want to help all of you to set the right expectations. Okay. While it's obviously the most convenient thing to do is to scan that QR code, do the redemption, complete the transaction, and be done with it. Don't feel as if you have to go back to your merchants and say, well, gosh, the only way it works is with a barcode scanner. Just let them know that regardless of the method of payment, and what I mean by method of payment is from a gift card standpoint, where it's a physical plastic card, whether it's something that somebody printed out from their email, or whether it's the digital card that's going into their wallet, just let those merchants know that as far as the redemption goes, absolutely, we can do a multitude of different ways. They don't have to go out and reinvest and go out and buy a barcode scanner. They are able to complete those transactions. Everybody, the other thing that I want to share with you too, towards the beginning of this call, as David was kind of introducing Factor4, he was talking about a very wide range of different technology that Factor4 can integrate with. So, for everybody's benefit, if you take a look into the chat, I included a link that goes directly to Factor4's integration page. And you're going to see a lot of names that are very familiar to you as far as device technology from the Valors and the Deja Vu and the PAX devices that we currently provide. David, let's talk about something that we don't ever really kind of dive into too much when it comes to the integrations and methods of payment. We're very accustomed to thinking, okay, gift cards, yep, we can do it on a payment device. We could type in the numbers and everything else. Where does Factor4 stand from like an online standpoint? Can those cards be redeemed online as well?
Yeah, we have a couple different solutions, and we can always add more. So we have APIs that would allow us to integrate, in theory, to anything, right? There's always the conversation of like, what might it cost, and we can always have that conversation if it comes up. But so, for example, we do integrate with Shopify. So, if a merchant out there has a Shopify instance selling, merchandise through that, we can set up our Shopify integration to allow them to sell and redeem gift cards. We integrate with, for example, Zuppler as an online ordering solution for restaurants. So if you have, merchants out there that are a restaurant that either have that or are looking for an online ordering solution, just keep in mind that is one solution that we do work with pretty frequently. So we can integrate with that. So if somebody goes to that restaurant's website, they do a first-party takeout order, ordering online, and they have a gift card powered by Factor4, we're integrated to that to allow that customer to redeem that gift card directly through Zuppler. So yeah, beyond just the point of sale and terminals, online ordering, e-commerce, and things like that are big integrations as well for us.
Yeah. All right. And once again, sales agent, I'm looking out on your behalf to help you to explore every single avenue and every single conversation that you could have with a merchant. So when you take a look at that integrations list, outside of just straightforward payment devices, point of sale systems, always think that Factor4 is going to be that valued partner that can also assist when it comes to like that e-commerce world, as David just stated as one example, as just one example when it comes to e-com, they have that connection that they can work with as far as Shopify goes. David, let's do this. Let's kind of talk through everything the Factor4 can bring to the table because we want to kind of expand everybody's minds and not be like, oh, gosh, it's just a gift card or it's just a loyalty program. No, there's a lot more to it than that. And the nice thing about it, Factor4, is that you can help our agents to kind of bundle some of these together because it's not just, oh, I can only go sell gift cards or, oh, I can only go sell loyalty. You've got a myriad of different programs that we can just kind of mesh together. So let's talk about a couple of these. Physical gift cards, obviously never going to change. Has anything changed as far as the way that people shop for gift cards? Is Are physical plastic cards kind of going to the wayside, or are those still holding strong? Where do things stand with that, David?
So they're still holding strong. Digital is definitely taking over a little bit more. Around 60% of gift cards sold today are digital. The main buyers of the economy get younger, they're going to start using digital cards more and more, like these, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and things like that. So you'll see that digital cards kind of increasing a little bit over time as well. I think beyond that 60%. But I don't think traditional physical cards will ever go away. Just mostly for the fact that when it comes to actual gift giving, nobody likes to send an email as a gift, right? Like if I want to get you, Scott, a birthday present or a Christmas present, whatever it may be, I don't want to send you an email and be like, shoot you a text after that and say, hey, bud, check your email, just got a gift certificate for wherever. I want to physically give you something, right? It's so impersonal to send an email as a gift. So regardless of how popular digital cards get to be, whether regardless of the market share they take, traditional cards, especially around the holidays and various points throughout the year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, things like that, Easter, you're always going to see these big spikes in physical gift card sales. So yeah, I think digital cards, they're more popular now. They're going to continue to eke up a little bit there, but physical cards won't, I don't think in our lifetimes at least, ever go away fully.
And today I learned that I take a very impersonal approach when I send gifts. So apparently this Christmas I'm not going to be
There
sending
you
those
go.
via email. Thank you
Yeah.
for.
We're learning a lot today.
We are, and man, you changed my mindset for this upcoming Christmas. Nicely done, David. Thank you. All right, so we kind of talked about the e-cards, digital gift cards, virtual cards. Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about the loyalty piece. All right, so you've got it's not just one flavor, one size fits all when it comes to loyalty. So let's just kind of dive through these piece by piece. Talk to our audience about the points-based loyalty programs that you can offer to any merchant.
Yeah, so we kind of have two main kind of to start in terms of somebody signing up or redeeming points. We have two main ones. So we have one that's based on a card, like a gift card, and then we have one that's cardless. So it's based on a phone number. So those are the two ways for customers to identify themselves, right? So you either use a card, swipe it, it identifies me as, loyalty account 1234. I have 1,000 points and I just, accrued X amount more points. Or we can do cardless with a phone number. That's always the one I suggest just because you don't need a physical card. Everybody's phone number is unique to them. Much easier to maintain and manage for your customers. But yeah, from there, once you have that set up, we have a few different options and choices in terms of actual gift card programs, and you can do this with either the card or the cardless. So probably the most popular is that points-based system where you accrue a certain amount of points depending on how much money you spend, and then once you accrue those points, you can redeem, X amount off for your purchase. So you could set up to something like you get 100 points with every dollar spent. Once you hit 1,000 points, you get $5 off, something like that. Those programs they're easy to manage for the merchant and they're easy to understand for the customers. I think that's kind of a win-win. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to put these types of things together. If you're a smaller merchant, you don't have a dedicated CRM loyalty person on your team, head of loyalty that's managing all this. We work with a lot of smaller merchants where the business owner is also, the cashier and they're also the marketing manager and they're also, they're doing all these roles. So having a simple program like that makes life much easier for the merchants and for the customers, right? Like you don't have to do math of, how many points do I have to hit this or that? Once you hit X amount of points, you get $5 off, $10 off, whatever it is. So I'd say majority of our merchants using our loyalty programs do some sort of, point dollars to points type system, just because it's easy to launch, easy to maintain, easy to understand.
Yeah. The other loyalty-based program that I wanted to dive into too is the discount-based loyalty program, where customers receive predefined discounts when they hit a specific spending milestone. How popular would you say that is in regards to that type of a program, and who would you say that program works best for when it comes to offering some sort of a discount?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably better for like retail shops. I think like clothing shops and things like that, where people are probably spending a little bit more. So we don't do them quite as often as the points based, but for those more specific scenarios where they're trying to get people to spend a little bit more to hit that price point to get that discount, that's where those I think come in a little bit more often. Is for those shops where maybe it's not I'm visiting there every week like a coffee shop. It's maybe once a month or once every couple months, and I'm spending a little bit more. And then, once I hit that threshold, I'm getting, X% off of my next purchase type of deal.
All right, and we got two more loyalty programs that I wanted to make sure that we cover. The first one, let's get this one, the Punch Card Loyalty Program, digital version of the
Mhm.
traditional buy one get one free program. Kind of talk our audience through what that looks like as far as that one goes.
Yeah, so these are good for types of merchants where somebody's coming in pretty often. So things like coffee shops. A coffee shop is a great example or use case for a punch card site type system. It's probably something we're all used to. Again, very easy to understand from our perspective and from the merchant's perspective of, come in 9 times on your 10th visit, you get a free coffee. These are things that have been around forever. We used to have, there's actually still a coffee shop near me that does have, physical card type system. I've been trying to convince them to digitize it, but they're stuck in their ways, which is fine. But yeah, it's just a system that we're all kind of familiar with. Digitizing it obviously makes it a little bit easier to manage. I've been going there for years, and I might have like 3 or 4 or 5 of these cards randomly in my car, in my wallet, randomly. I might be able to combine them eventually one day to bring them in and say I have all these punches, but with a digital system like that, you don't have to remember to do that. So much more likely to keep coming in to hit that reward so I can get my free coffee.
Excellent. And let's talk about the cashback rewards program. Who would you say is the type of industry that's good for as far as the cashback piece goes? And just kind of talk through the nuances of what are we talking about with the cashback rewards programs?
Yeah, so I'd say it's probably similar to that percentage off that we're talking about for like a retail merchant, maybe a clothing store with somebody that's not coming in quite as frequently, where once you spend X amount or maybe a certain amount of visits, once you make like 3 purchases within 3 months, something like that, you get like $10 off. So again, I think that's good for maybe a merchant that is dealing with their customers coming in not quite as frequently as like a coffee shop or maybe a quick service restaurant, but you want to incentivize them to keep coming back. So the more often they come back, the more likely they're going to hit that reward and get their money, and it's going to get them excited to come back in and keep spending more and visiting more.
Yeah. Now, this is the part where when you and I were doing this planning session, this is the part that got me excited about this because I don't even think that I was aware that Factor4 can offer this, but you offer the ability to provide a merchant with what's called a hybrid customizable loyalty program, meaning, and just to define it for our audience, what are we talking about with this hybrid program? Your merchant agent doesn't have to just sign up for one loyalty program. You can only do punch cards and that's it. Or you can only do cash back and that's it, Mr. and Mrs. Merchant. That's not
Yep.
the case. David, get our audience excited about this as far as our sales agents talking to the merchants and having the ability to set them up with what we refer to as the hybrid loyalty program, where it's a combination of these different programs that we just talked about.
Yeah, so that's for merchants that are looking to do something a little bit more unique and just a way to stand out. So if you want to create something a little bit more unique where your customers are coming back more frequently to spend more money, you can kind of combine these systems. So you can combine like a digital punch card with a points-based system. So regardless of how often they're coming in or things like that, they can continue to one collect points to redeem it at their choosing, or you can have some sort of automatic thing of once you hit 1,000 points, you just get $10 off. Combined with that frequency based loyalty program of come in 9 times, get your coffee for 10th visit, you get a free coffee, or 10th visit, you get a free chips and guac, something like that. So we've ways where we can combine these programs so where every time you come in, you get to kind of see your progress as a guest. And you're also rewarded with your frequency as a guest. So, incentivizing somebody to come in more often because once they come in that, nth time, that 10th time, whatever the program's set up to be, you're going to get rewarded. So, kind of near term and long term kind of loyalty incentivization, I guess you could call it.
Now, here's the one piece that I want to make sure that I have clarity on, and honestly, David, I don't want this to be a curveball, so I'm going to apologize in advance, but I think I know the answer to this. So let's say myself as a consumer, and I have the digital gift card in my Apple Wallet on my phone, and I'm signed up with the business's loyalty program. Am I tracking everything through one account that was created for me as the consumer? How does that work as far as me tracking, my progress as a customer of the coffee shop? I've got the gift card on my phone, plus I've also signed up for their loyalty program. Am I doing that all in one centralized location on my Apple Wallet?
Yeah, we can combine them. So we can make a loyalty and gift card combo program essentially. And
Got
so
it.
as long as you have that gift card number, you can add that to your digital wallet, your Apple, Google Wallet, whatever it is, and we can still track it. So some merchants have it set up where it's kind of separate, but we can do a combo program where that gift card number, whether it's a physical card or digital card, everything can be contained within the same thing. So it can carry a gift card balance and it can also accrue and redeem loyalty points.
All right. And just to make sure that I understand it correctly, so as a consumer, I go to David's coffee shop all the time. I got my gift card right on my iPhone. I use it for my payments. Plus, as a loyalty member, I can track it right within that gift card environment on my phone. I can see my points and I can see, how many more points I need to redeem, correct?
Yep, yeah, it's all connected with that card number. You got it.
Yeah. I got to tell you right now, when I threw that question out there, I'm going, "Hey, that's right, Scott. These are recorded. Boy, wouldn't that be awful if David was like, "Gosh, that's a great question. I'll get back to you." And I'd be like, "I know. Hey, marketing team, edit that part out." But we didn't have to. Thank you, David. That was a great answer. David, you know what? We're coming up on the bottom of the hour, and I did see some questions that were starting to pop into the chat. You want to do some questions real quick, and
Yeah,
then after that, you can share your presentation deck.
sounds good.
All right. So let me get my screen expanded over here, and while I am trying to pull up the chat, agents. If you just want to come off mute and start throwing questions out there, just come off mute. Don't even have to raise your hand. Let's start getting the questions out there while I get the chat pulled up.
Hey, this is Carol. I have a question.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, buddy. So,
Hello.
David, when we do gift cards right now with Factor4, there's a fee, a setup fee, and so much for 100 or 500 cards. Does that price per card go away when they're digital? Can they have as many cards as they want without a fee because it's digital, or are there still fees like that?
So there would just be if they're doing digital only, it would just be that monthly processing fee essentially. So you can in theory have infinite digital cards on the system. So there'd be, there's
That's
no
very
additional
cool. So
cost.
now yeah, that's very cool. So now it's a more modern way of taking it, and then it's also less expensive for the merchant.
Right, yeah. And you'll always hear me, pitching the idea of both, right? They're still both important, digital and physical, like I mentioned before. Having physical cards, especially around the holidays, to do promotions with and things like that is super important. But yeah, if you're running a digital only program, at that point you're just paying for the monthly processing fees essentially, as opposed to paying to get custom cards printed out.
So I got my first one. Can you
Mm.
see it?
Yep.
Okay, so I got my first 200 gift card for the hosting Easter. And
Mhm.
then all I had to do is tap wallet. So now it's actually in there, and all I have to do is take that to the store or online and use it. So that's like really cool. This is my first one.
Yep, exactly. You got
So that's
it.
cool. Thank you.
Yep. Scott, are you talking? Because I can't hear you, but I think I see your mouth
Well,
moving.
yeah,
There you
because when I put it on mute while Carol Steen is talking, I tend to forget that I'm on mute. But happy Tuesday, everybody. Tomorrow's tax day. Hey, um, Carol, very quickly, if you don't mind coming back off mute, my friend, just because I've known you a long time, and it's okay for you and I to have a little banter here. Carol, did you just drop knowledge on the entire organization that as a sales agent, we can help the merchant to save money on implementing a program by going strictly digital? Is that what I heard?
That's exactly what you heard. A customer never minds hearing that they can save money.
All right, Carol, just because I have known you forever, could you just do me one small favor? With authority, could you just give that message to the entire sales organization and get them excited? Could you do that for me?
Save your customers money. Show them what Pay Campus can do for you and for their merchants. You make it sticky. Make yourself valuable by offering that to them. How's that, my friend?
That was awesome. Thank you, my friend. Look at all the love showing up in the chat, all the emojis going up. Carol, as always, it's good to see you on the call, my friend. Thank you.
Love, love.
Let's see. Thank you. A question coming up in the chat for you, David, when you're ready. For Factor4 gift cards, I know it will integrate with the register app in Clover when the customer is checking out. But here's the part of the question, David. But will it integrate with a third-party app that the merchant is using on Clover? So I guess to make sure that I understand this question correct, Ben, you may wind up coming off mute. So what you're asking, Ben, is as an example, I'm a Clover merchant. I've got my Clover device set up over here. I go into the Clover app marketplace and I download some of those different apps onto my Clover device. What you're asking is, can some of those third-party apps process the transactions, correct?
Correct.
Okay. David, what are your thoughts on that, my man?
Yeah, so there's two ways that that this can happen, and we can support both ways, and they're both direct integrations with Factor4. So, number one is the Factor4 app that's on Clover and many other terminals, for example. So PAX, for example, right? You download the Factor4 app to a PAX terminal to run Factor4 gift card transactions. But we do have partners out there that have their software on these terminals, and those partners can integrate with Factor4 directly to keep you from having to use two separate apps, right? So it depends on if we support that integration or not. So like in your example, I don't know if nail salon POS is a real solution on Clover, but in theory, they could integrate our Factor4 gift cards into their software that's on Clover, and then they could run gift cards directly through their software on Clover instead of having to separately download the Factor4 app, leave their app, open up Factor4, run the transaction, pop back into their software. So we can do it either way. We have APIs that allow those integrations to happen. We have partners out there that do integrate directly to us like that, so that the full solution, every credit card, every gift card transaction is running through their software on that, hardware terminal.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. And to Ben's point, for those of you that may be listening to today's call, you're driving, and just for some of the context here. So with Ben's instance, he's got a merchant that's using Clover. The merchant is using an app that they found in the Clover app marketplace called Nail Salon POS. They downloaded it to their device, and it appears that when the merchant tried to use Clover's native rewards app, it wasn't processing those transactions. And to everybody's benefit, once again, I realize that sometimes in Zoom, if I share a link, if you join the call late, you might not have access to the link. So for everybody's benefit, one more time, I put the full integration list into the chat. You can click on that link, and you're going to see a very wide myriad of different integrations that Factor4 can accommodate, everything from payment devices to point of sale systems, all the way right up to e-com. Okay, so if you didn't see that link before, you're going to see that link right now. Another question that popped up into the chat. If they are this is a great question. Matter of fact, you and I are going to cover this when you're showing your presentation, but let's get this covered right now. So what if they're a customer with multiple locations who offer these in their business? How does a customer manage it? Say, for example, location number one is a coffee shop and location number two is a wing shop. Look at that. And for everybody's benefit, I promise this is not staged, and I'm glad that the sales agent asked the question, because this is something that David and I were actually going to cover. David, talk us through that. So what if they do have multiple concepts? How do you help them out?
Yeah, so we can manage that. So we set up in the system just under, we basically have kind of a parent company and then all the locations under that. So it doesn't matter if they're all, Dave's Taco Shack. You can have multiple brands under the same kind of parent company within the back end on Factor4. So we do have a ton of merchants out there today that have, 10, 20, dozens of locations made up of multiple different brands that we support. And then there's, as you kind of go to market with that gift card program, there's two ways you can handle it. You can either, if you want people to know that these are all, related brands, you can. What we usually recommend is, if you have 3, 4, 5 brands are all kind of connected, that kind of focus on a specific type of cuisine, for example, on your gift cards, the physical cards or the digital cards. Just make sure that, the brands are all on that card, right? So if I bought a gift card at Dave's Taco Shack, and I know that Scott's Coffee Shop is a part of that, and I want to be able to use it at both, or I want my customers to be able to use that card at both of those locations. Just make sure that, it's easy to understand for the merchants. You want to make sure that if you have those physical cards, you have like the branding of each one of those concepts on the card so that as I'm looking at it, I know I can use the card here and I can use it there. Or you can put something on the back of the card with like, a URL of where you can use the card. You just want to make sure that your customers understand that the card will work across these different concepts and across these different locations. But it's a similar setup to like a franchised group, right? So if you have, McDonald's is owned by, thousands, millions of different people. Each location is owned by, maybe an individual or, some sort of an entity. Those gift cards still work across those locations. So very similar setup to what we would do for like a franchise group. They'd all be within the same kind of parent company or under the same parent company on the back end of Factor4 so that they're all connected. And then, if they are different entities, if different people own these different locations or concepts, we can help with that too. So we do the pooling on the back end, the money movement to make sure that if the gift card's purchased at location A, but it's redeemed at location B, we make sure that money kind of changes hands so that everybody's made whole at the end of the month as well.
Now, I love that idea. So, not just gift card only for a business that has multiple concepts, the loyalty can tie into that as well.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Exact same setup.
Okay. So, for everybody that may have those kind of opportunities, uh, just a quick recap on that. If you're dealing with a business that has multiple locations, that business has different concepts at each individual location, when they work with Factor 4, best practice, provide every single logo for each location. So to Dave's point, the Dave's Taco Shop, the Scott's Coffee Shop, whatever the case may be, they can get all those logos on the physical gift cards, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, on those e-gift cards, digital gift cards, that can be set up on there as well so that it shows each individual location per logo, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, excellent. All right. Agents, what other questions do you have? I know that David has a quick presentation that he wants to share with you. Just come right off mute. Don't even bother using the raised hand feature.
How much are physical gift cards?
Yep. So that's a great question too, and I love it when those prices. All right. For everybody's knowledge, if you go to Navigo, pull down the software pricing sheet, you're going to see everything for Factor 4. As a matter of fact, I'm going off memory here. I believe it's on page 10, all the Factor 4 pricing. Now, what I want to do is I want to say to all of you, when you look at the pricing, that's listed as your buy rate. Obviously, you can price your deal however you need to, but Navigo, go to the software pricing sheet, download it. Buy rate is listed right on there, and it will give you the breakdown for physical gift cards, digital gift cards, what the monthly SaaS is going to be, all of that right in Navigo for all of you. And as an added bonus, if any of you have any questions in regards to the submission process, or how do I work with Factor 4 with an existing merchant, I coordinated with our sales ops team, our fabulous sales ops team in Tempe, Arizona, and they have the resources right in front of them. So even after we finish this call, if you need to send them an email, give them a quick call, and you want to have a better understanding of submission process, pricing your deal, they've got all that information right in front of them, I can assure you. Oh, and Carol Steen, once again. Carol, come off mute. Where else can they find it, Carol?
How about Jeannie? We got to get a plug in for Scotty Boy and for John, John Marshall. So Jeannie.
Yep. Absolutely. You can also find that information on the Genie app too. In case any of you may have noticed, John Marshall is not co-hosting today. He's on a well-deserved vacation. We should see him back towards the beginning of next week. But in the interim, Carol Steen filling in for John Marshall and giving that plug for the Genie app. Carol, once again, thank you. All right. Any other questions that you may have? Come off mute as David gets ready to share a presentation with you very quickly.
Hey Scott, so
Hey, Brad. Yeah, go ahead.
that that was like whenever I posted that question, that was great on the merchant side, but I was also wondering how if a customer goes in different shops throughout the town, say I have 5 different shops, but they're not related to each other, how does the customer manage in their wallet how to see what they have on their digital wallet?
Okay, so if I understand correctly, I went to Merchant A where I got a digital gift card that was set up by Factor 4. I go to Merchant B, I have another digital gift card that was provided by Factor 4. Is that the type of scenario that you're talking about, Brad?
Correct.
Okay. David, thoughts on that?
Yeah, it just depends on how it's set up. So if they are part of the same program, it's all going to accumulate at the same time. So if there's five different brands, all part of the same kind of company, if that brand, the parent company wants them all connected, they'll be all connected. So if you stop at each shop, each of those shops throughout the day, all five, as you shop there, you're going to accumulate the points because the loyalty number you have, the card number is going to be the same across these merchants. Now, if they want it set up to where it's separate, then you're going to have five different card numbers, right? So you're going to have a card number for Dave's Taco Shack. You're going to have a loyalty card number for Scott's Coffee Shop. So it kind of depends on how it's set up. If they're all connected, you're going to be able to kind of log in and see your points accrue as you shop. There might be like a 24-hour period of time for it to actually reflect. Um, and then if it's all separate, if you want somebody to only accrue points at Dave's Taco Shack and use them at Dave's Taco Shack, then you're going to have a different card number, loyalty card number compared to Scott's Coffee Shop. So we can set it up either way. We can have it fully connected where you can accrue points and see them accrue every time you shop at one of these places, or you can have it set up separate where you're going to have a different loyalty card number for each brand. And then, as you use it at Dave's Taco Shack, you'll see the points accumulate there versus Scott's Coffee Shop. Does that make sense?
I believe so. That'll all be in their wallet.
Correct. Yeah, it'll
Correct.
regardless of how they're managing it, whether it's a physical card, a phone number, it's all going to be connected to that same loyalty number, whether all the brands are connected or not. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you, Brad. All right, David, why don't you go ahead and pull up your presentation? While you're pulling your presentation up to the audience, I just want to throw out a couple of things as far as who is not a good fit for Factor 4. I can get through this fairly quickly. Businesses that are one-time or low repeat purchase businesses. What am I talking about? Contractors, real estate brokers, not going to be a good fit for Factor 4. Also, not a good fit for Factor 4. B2B opportunities, they have longer sales cycles, probably not going to be the best fit. The other one that I wanted to throw out there too is any industries that are heavily regulated, that being cannabis shops, gambling or gaming, or any businesses that tie into financial services or healthcare services. David, were there any that I missed as far as businesses that we should probably try to stay away from?
No, that's fair. And I mean, technically speaking, we can, like some of those instances we can support it. It's just, when you think of gift cards, it's not really your first thought of a gift card program, right? Like, so for example, cannabis programs, like we have cannabis shops, whether recreational or medical, whatever, depending on the state, obviously, where they can be sold in store pretty easily. It's the online gift card sales where you're going to run into trouble because, payment processors, these are high risk merchants. We can't use like our like off.net, for example, for those online gift card sales if they're connected to a cannabis merchant.
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely some that they don't work quite as well. I can't think of any off the top of my head to add to that. So I think that's a pretty good list.
Okay, excellent. Just wanted to make sure that I put it out there because obviously, you sales agent, I want to make sure that your time is productive. And last thing that I would want for you to do is to try to identify an opportunity where it's not going to come to fruition. I would much rather point you in the direction where I know that you can close that sale. David, let's walk through some of the key pieces that you wanted to dive into today. I believe we're going to start this off with that whole digital gift card experience, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I won't do a full, usually I do these presentations. I have a few slides kind of covering Factor 4 and all that kind of stuff. We are
Yeah.
obviously already kind of covered that, give you a good example of what we do and all that. So you can kind of more so jump straight into it. So this kind of ties back to a little bit what we were discussing before in terms of the rise of digital cards versus physical cards. Like I mentioned before, over 60% of cards sold today are digital versus physical. People generally spend more when it's an e-gift card, a digital card versus a physical card. All that said, I will always continue to push how the importance of physical cards, and they have their place, but it's in our ever increasing digital world. It's important to understand the market today, and kind of where to start that conversation. So, digital cards they'll continue to rise a little bit. as you know, these younger generations become, the economy as we see it. So important to think in terms of digital first, while kind of plugging in the importance of a full service gift card program with those physical cards and things like that. Then down in the corner here, just estimated growth. This is digital, or this is the gift card market in general. So around 2022, the total gift card market was around, a little over 600 billion. It's going to grow to $1 trillion in 2032, which is insane. So really important to think about this with your merchants. If they don't have a gift card program, get them thinking about it. If they do have a gift card program, what ways can they make it better? Do they have digital cards? Do they have a way to sell those cards online? Are they thinking about, the combination of digital and physical cards and how those together make a really good program? Do they have a way to add their gift cards into digital wallets? So just a good way to kind of kick off those conversations.
And as we go over to the next slide here within the deck, this is, sales agents. This is what I was referring to earlier when I was saying, that digital gift card experience where you got the digital card in your wallet right now. And I was saying, well, gosh, David, do all of our merchants have to go out and buy barcode scanners in order to participate in this type of a program? Now you're getting the visual. David, kind of walk them through that. So I'm seeing some numbers over here on the screen. So if I'm the merchant, I don't really need to go out and buy that barcode scanner. I can still redeem this though, correct? Even though they're showing it to me on their phone?
Yep, yeah, this is all the information customer need to be able to redeem that card. So, makes life a little bit easier if you just scan it and go, but if you need to, you can still just type that card in just as if it were in an email, a printed sheet, or off a physical card. And yeah, it looks very similar. Was it Carol was that Carol before that was showing us the card, or was that somebody else?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
Yes.
looks very similar to that. It shows, I think hers even had the balance there as well. So that balance will update as you redeem the card, that'll go down. We can, customize the card, we can customize the artwork and things like that to the merchant specifically. So, and then, in terms of doing it, like Carol showed, she had that little button there that said add to Apple Wallet. That'll start showing up in those emails that our merchants customers get whenever they buy that digital card, as long as they have this enabled. And then so they can, just like a boarding pass, all that kind of stuff. The other way too, I'd like to point out that you'd be able to add this to your digital wallet. So physical cards. So this is the digital side of things, right? You get an email from Joe's Diner, add to Apple Wallet, you hit the button, it goes into your Apple Wallet. Let's say, Scott, since he's going to change his ways and start giving people physical gifts instead of emailing them, happy holidays. He's going to start giving people, gift cards to Joe's Diners. Our customers, once they enable this, if they sign up and get this digital wallet turned on, we're going to start printing QR codes on the back of their physical cards as well. So even if Scott gives me a gift card to Joe's Diner, a physical card for Christmas or my birthday, whatever it may be, on the back of that card, I can actually scan it with my camera and still add it to my digital wallet. So it doesn't matter whether you're gifting somebody a digital card or a physical card, as long as that merchant is using Factor4 and they have this enabled. I, as the receiver of that gift card, will be able to get it added to my digital wallet, regardless of how I'm getting that gift card given to me.
Yeah, and I think that's such a powerful piece too. So just to recap on that, as a consumer, I've got the physical gift card in hand, but you know what? I am always forgetting this thing at home. So as the consumer, David, correct me if I'm wrong, I have the ability to scan it, add it to my own wallet, and now I don't have to worry as to whether or not that physical plastic card is in my wallet or not, correct?
Exactly. Yep, you got it. That's what every Christmas I do that. I get like 5 physical cards from my father-in-law, Uber, Dunkin' Donuts, all this stuff, and it takes me 20 minutes to open up an app and get them added in, typing all the numbers. So having a quick and easy way just to scan the barcode, scan the QR code, get it added to the Apple Wallet is pretty big. And it really like combines those different worlds of gift cards, right? You have digital cards that people are using more, you have the physical cards that people are used to, and it's really kind of bridging that gap between the physical and the digital, which is cool.
All right, David, why don't we jump over to that next piece where we're going to talk about the benefits of having those digital gift cards. Go ahead and talk our audience through this, please.
Yeah, so I think number one that I always think of whenever I'm using Apple Wallet, whether it's a gift card or my credit card, is just the convenience of it. So I've had instances where I left my wallet at home, or maybe it's winter and I'm going between 14 different pockets in my coat and my hands trying to find my wallet. It's always easier to just tap and pay and go. So same thing applies to digital cards. You don't have to have that card with you. I use a pretty minimalist wallet where I just have like my ID and a couple credit cards. I never have physical gift cards on me. It might be in the app if the merchant supports that. But at the end of the day, you don't need an app to be able to use the digital wallet integration. So just makes that redemption much easier, which leads to the second point, which is higher redemption rates. You want to get your customers coming in and using it more if they have a good experience. If it's easy to use, they're going to use that gift card more often. They're going to come in more, spend more. All these points are pretty related, but reduced lost or forgotten gift cards. Again, I don't have to worry about forgetting my wallet at home. I don't have to worry about, trying to shove more cards in my wallet than I'd like to have in there. Once I get it into my digital wallet, I don't have to remember the physical card anymore. All of those things lead to improved customer experience, regardless of how you want to use that card, whether it's a physical card, digital card in your wallet. It's going to give me options as a customer and just, give me a better experience. It's also bringing, like we talked about earlier, Scott, it's bringing these smaller kind of mom and pop merchants up into the digital first experience. So this type of technology was not super easy to implement. Whenever it first came out, it took a lot of resources. It took a lot of work on the development side, integration side. We turned it into a thing where you let us know you want it, we can turn it on, get you set up within, a week or two. Just similar to setting up like a gift card program in general. Just takes a little bit of work to do some of that digital art, to get it added in there, do some work on our side, and get you stuff pretty quickly. And lastly is just the competitive differentiation of competing out there, all the Starbucks, the Dunkins, these coffee shops that have had this technology for a while. For a smaller merchant to be able to say, hey, we have this really cool technology, it's going to make your life easier. It's going to make our lives easier is really big. So it's really big for the merchant and for you as you're selling it, right? It's a big differentiator of, we see a lot of these, a lot of other gift card providers out there that don't have this technology. So if you have merchants out there that are looking for a good gift card program, this is a good way to kind of make that stand out from the other solutions they might be looking at.
David, I'm thinking back to a conversation that you and I had prior to today's session, where I think you had shared with me like Factor4 observed the landscape without being in a hurry to try to be the first to market with this offering. Like they pretty much gave like some of those big box stores, nationwide franchises the opportunity to kind of create the concept, perfect the concept, to which Factor4 said, all right, now we got to bring it to Main Street because
Yeah.
we gave some of these bigger franchises the opportunity to do the tweaks and fix any of those glitches that they may have. So I got to give kudos to Factor4 for kind of hanging back and observing prior to trying to rush to market with what the big trend was at the time.
Yeah, we're probably never going to be the first to market with the new technologies. But when we do implement it, we try to implement it right so that we're creating a good experience for you and for your merchants and for their customers. It's similar. We're not Apple by any means, but it's a similar approach to Apple takes, right? Like when you think of technology that's in iPhones versus like an Android phone, Android phones have stuff years in advance of an iPhone. But Apple, lets that technology mature before they implement it into a software update or with a hardware update, whatever it may be. Because there's a ton of stuff out there that if you do it too quickly just to be first, you're gonna leave a sour taste in your customers and your merchants' mouths by doing it that way. So making sure we fully understand what we're doing before we get it out there is really important. And this is a good example of that.
Yeah. And David, as we jump ahead, let's jump over to that next piece because this is the part that I get excited about, and this is why I will continue to beat the drum and say that Factor4 is quite possibly one of the most valuable partners that we have here at Pay Compass, just because it's not about just the gift card. It's not just about the loyalty program. You guys are literally an extension of a small business's marketing efforts, and Factor4 will help these small businesses with getting their gift cards up and running online. David, talk us through this.
Yeah, so these are we set these up for every customer. Right when we get a customer onboarded, we will build one of these sites out without even asking them, just so it's ready to go whenever they inevitably want to turn it on. So there's two different versions of this tool that we have for our merchants and your merchants to sell their gift cards online, because it's really important to think of how they're getting their gift cards into their customers' hands. So obviously, number one, having them in store. I want to be able to walk into a store and buy a gift card to give someone. But there's people that don't live anywhere near me that shop at places I don't shop at that I'd still like to purchase a gift card for them for the holidays, for their birthday, whatever it may be. So having another channel to sell their gift cards to get into the hands of their customers is really important. And this is how we do that for our merchants. So we have two versions. We have a light and a plus. Light is pretty straightforward. We can get this built in like 10 minutes. It's 95% of the way built out. We just add some colors and branding, turn it on, and it's good to go. The plus, or the more custom version, takes a little bit longer, but we can add more branding, more custom artwork and things like that. On the digital card side of things, we can actually add multiple templates. So you can have like a regular gift card, you can have a happy birthday, happy holidays, things like that. You can have a few different templates to choose from. So whenever you send that card or get that card, you see that template reflected in that email that you get. And this includes both digital and physical cards. Obviously, you can see we have e-gift and traditional gift card options. For the physical cards, 99% of the time, Factor4 is doing the fulfillment of those physical cards. So I, as a merchant, Dave's Taco Shack, I can sign up for this. Basically, Factor4 will keep, X amount of your cards in our office. So whenever one of your customers purchases a traditional card, somebody from the Factor4 office gets an email saying, "Hey, David just bought a card for $100. Here's his address, send it out." And somebody from our office actually packages that up and send it out on behalf of the merchant. You can also see down there, typically the fees are passed to the customer. So if I buy the card, I'm paying like a $5 shipping fee essentially to cover that cost of shipping and handling and all that kind of stuff. So really, generally speaking, no added cost to cover that for the merchant. Just gives them a whole nother way to get their gift cards into their customers' hands.
All right, David, I see we are coming up on the top of the hour. I want to make sure that I am being respectful of everybody's time. I got another question that came into the chat.
Yeah.
And then once we address this question, let's talk through some of the things that all of our agents should know when working with their merchants. So the question, are there options with Factor4 to offer a merchant an incentive to get their customers to the business? As an example, if the customer has not been to the business in a few weeks, is there some sort of messaging that can be sent out to the customer, something to the effect of, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. If you come in within X amount of days, take advantage of, your existing loyalty program," or whatever the case may be. Are those kind of capabilities available in Factor4?
So we don't have like messaging, but what we do have is tools to take advantage of that messaging. So a couple of things that we offer and we support that our merchants take advantage of all the time. Number one is comp cards. So a comp card is similar to a gift card. It's, you can load money onto it. But since somebody isn't buying it, it's not a liability. It's more of like a discount type of deal. And that's just more on the accounting side of things that doesn't really matter in this conversation, just in terms of how it looks on the books for the merchant. But essentially it's used for things like making up for a bad experience. Like I've gotten them at Starbucks because my order took too long or something like that. I got like a $5 comp card that I can come back and use. Those comp cards can also be they don't have to last a long time. They can last like 30 days before they're expired, essentially. So a gift card has to last like 5 years. Some states they last forever before they can be discounted or canceled. A comp card you can cancel sooner. So as long as you have a way to communicate that, if you have some sort of a marketing platform or a CRM where you can send out emails and SMS, you can combine that with the tools that Factor4 offers to do stuff like that. In addition to comp cards, I'm going to jump ahead here just so I can cover this. Promotional cards are another big one that we do for a ton of our merchants. So like get a free $10 bonus card. This is huge around the holidays or just, throughout the year if they're trying to get a boost in gift card sales, they can do something where if you buy a $100 gift card, you get a $10 bonus card. So that's set up similar to those comp cards that I was just talking about, where they can technically be, expired sooner than their gift card. But that's another way that a lot of our merchants, another tool a lot of our merchants use to boost their gift card sales, especially around the holidays and things like that, where if you get a, X amount of card, you get an X amount bonus card or percentage of whatever you paid for in that gift card. So comp cards and promo cards are two big ways. As long as you have a way to communicate that to your customers, those are a couple tools that you can use to kind of push that.
Yeah, David, I'm glad you shared that. And the reason why I like seeing this up on the screen just as a reminder to you, the sales agent. This is a great way for you to exercise a little bit of creativity when you're having conversations with those merchants. If you stop and think about some of those merchants on Main Street, we always kind of joke around that, you know, they're the cashier, but they're also the dishwasher, but they're also the marketing department. I mean, some of these small business owners wear so many hats that sometimes they need an outside advisor, just like you, to come in and make these suggestions. To which, you know, to David's point, implementing a gift card program closer to the holidays. Okay, get that merchant thinking about, yeah, you know what? If you sell these gift cards online, you can make an offer to your customers saying, hey, you know what? Buy $100 worth of gift cards, get a $10 gift card for yourself. Help those merchants to understand the power of this by presenting options to them that are available. David, let's wrap this up with a bow. There's going to be one more piece that I know for a fact sales agents come up against, and I want you to share what Factor4 can do to help these merchants and to help the sales agents. So, David, I'm a sales agent. I walk into this business, and you know what? I got them rocking and rolling on Pay Compass Merchant Services, and now they're talking to me about gift cards. But they say to me, David, "Oh, well, I'm already doing gift cards with another company. Can I still work with Pay Compass?" David, what's the answer to that?
Yes.
And how do we do it, David?
In terms of how do we get them set up? Yeah, so yeah, we can convert anybody's gift card. So if somebody's using a gift card program that's not right for them, if they need something that Factor4 does that their current program doesn't do, we can pull over all their gift card data. So all we need in that instance is a liability report, which is essentially just an Excel spreadsheet of card numbers and balances that we upload into our system. Once we do that, all that data is in Factor4 and we can start tracking it from there. So all their existing cards will continue to work. They can come in and redeem those cards for the value that's on those cards, just like normal. The customers don't know anything about it. Nothing changes to them. It's just, you know, a difference of, you know, using a Factor4 app to swipe that card instead of whatever provider they're using before. So we can generally do it in terms of you know, what does that take to set up? Like we can do that same day. Like in theory, if you have a coffee shop that has a gift card program, they want to get set up on Factor4 and transfer that data over. If we get, you know, a setup form and a liability report in the morning, we're going to have them fully on Factor4 by the afternoon. So it's a pretty quick process. Generally speaking, that type of stuff takes us, you know, we can do it same day or within 24 hours, we usually say. So the process of doing that is really easy, pain-free. We can get them set up on the terminals to start accepting gift cards pretty quickly.
Excellent. All right, I see we are at the top of the hour. But once again, sales agent, it's all about you. Before we wrap, what other questions do you have? Don't even have to raise your hand, just come right off mute. What questions do you have? Well, we've got David Hicks on the call with us. Going once. Going twice. All right, going 3 times. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for joining Toolbox Tuesday. We love seeing you every single Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern. Before we wrap, let's give a little bit of love to David Hicks from Factor4. David, thank you for dropping knowledge on our entire team. Thank you for showing everything that Factor4 can do. And we are super excited about that digital gift card offering. So to you, the sales agent, you heard it straight from the expert, Carol Steen, who said, wait a second, I could save my merchant money on this. You are correct. Get out there, have those conversations with your existing merchants, get them excited about digital gift cards because it ain't going away anytime soon. David Hicks, one more time, thank you so much, my man. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Always a pleasure, my man.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
All right, excellent. And you're the sales agent. Once again, I will see you next week on Tuesday, POS Roundup. And coming up on Tuesday, April 28th, we're going to do our final Toolbox Tuesday for the month of April with Deja Pay Pro. And until we meet again, thank you very much. Domo arigato, and make it a fantastic week. Thank you, everybody.